Give her, homie.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Or if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome to the From the Bench podcast. I'm Eric. This is my co-host Trevor. We are remotely doing this from Zoom. Trying to do that whole social distancing thing. So this is the way we've decided we're going to do it for right now.
We're not swapping spit. Come on.
No, we definitely are not. That is a fact, Jack.
That is awesome.
We're staying. Even though the table last episode, I think we had the good distance. You just never know.
Oh, we had the distance.
Yeah, we got the 6 feet, I think, or at least 3
Half
or 4. Yeah. So, but this way, I said we'll get everybody rigged up. Trevor, we may have to try to figure something out for a better mic eventually, but I think for now this is gonna be fine. So
you don't want to hear what I have to say anyways. Come on, people. Just kidding.
Yeah, they do.
I'm the best.
This week what we're gonna get into, we get a couple show notes here. So we're gonna dive into a couple of the NHL draft prospects for this year's coming draft. From the queue though, we both live in the Maritimes of Canada, so that's what we're more familiar with is the queue. I'm a season ticket holder for the Moncton Wildcats. Trevor comes to the games when he's home. So we're going to dive into a couple people. We're going to deal with a featured player later that get traded at the trade deadline this year for the NHL. Talk about where we think he's going in the offseason, what's going to happen there. We're going to recap. Obviously we're running. We don't have a whole lot to talk about with no games being played.
Lots to talk about. Lots to talk
about. But what we're also going to talk about is our teams in particular. So I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan. Trevor's a Leafs fan. So kind of just give
blue and white, baby, bleeding it.
There you go. We're going to just talk about how we feel about the teams and how the first half of the season went before everything got kind of put on pause.
Before Thunderstruck? Come on.
Before Thunderstruck and before everything just went crazy. Past that, we are going to obviously switch from the ice, move on to the gridiron, talk some football. So we also get a couple prospects for the NFL draft coming up that we kind of wanted to highlight because we like them. And then same thing, we're going to talk about our favorite NHL team. So, or NFL team, sorry. So I'm a Los Angeles Chargers fan. Trevor's a Patriots fan, as you can kind of see from the hats. So we're gonna talk about our teams a little bit, kind of what we feel, how they did over the free agency period, how we feel about the teams as a whole, and we'll go over that stuff too. So busy episode, but I think that should bring us kind of to a good amount of time. Try not to put too much into it, so try to keep you guys listening. So, but yeah. So first off, the queue. I guess we didn't even get into this because this has only happened the last since we last recorded. The queue canceled everything. When we first talked,
we'll say like CHL in general.
Yeah, CHL in general.
But it was led by the Q, wasn't it?
Kind of everybody. So I think the CHL came out as a whole and said it. But yeah, they canceled the season as a whole. Canceled the playoffs. It's done.
Really super disappointing, but it's probably necessary. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah,
especially being we're a Moncton Wildcats fan. Let's just put it out there. And we were sick. Like we were good. Really
it's good. It's one of those things, right? Like, got the hat right beside me. Love the Wildcats. Like I said, they sold the farm for this run. They had a really good chance. They were on a roll. The last game they played, they beat Cape Breton, who was one of the higher teams, 3-0. Like, they were showing that they
outshot them.
Oh my, yeah. And like I said, Cape Breton's a good team, and it just seemed like it's just the year. Like, they've won the the Q title before, but they've never won the Memorial Cup. Came close, really close.
Super
once.
Close.
Was this the year? And now we'll
Thanks,
never know.
Patrick Waugh. Thanks, Patrick
Waugh and Alexander Agilov. But yeah, so it's just frustrating at the end of the day. But they said it is what it is. It's for the safety and the health of everybody else. So, but yeah, we're going to get into some Q draft prospects. So for the coming NHL draft, whenever they decide that's going to be, they don't really know. I think
hopefully, well, the NFL, I'm going to speak on the NFL for a second here with the draft. They still come out and said that they're planning on doing it same time. So I'm kind of hoping the NHL does the same thing.
You got to
But
give us
who
something.
knows?
We don't get anything else for sports. I
know, right? Like,
watched the
it doesn't even matter.
1995.
Like, there's rumors that they're gonna, like, Roger Goodell is literally gonna come out in this little booth room kind of thing. I don't even care. I'll still watch it.
I
Like,
love it. We'll
seriously.
we'll love every minute of it, right? So it's just like I watched the 1994 Eastern Conference Finals for the NHL yesterday between the Rangers and the Devils. Like, this is what I've come down to. Okay, that's what Sportsnet had on, so I tuned into that. But yeah,
Game 7 for the Raptors, baby, against
yeah,
Philly.
I watched that last night.
Oh man, I got up this morning. Okay, I PV'd it because I told Eric I hate commercials.
He does.
Anyways, he's like, calls me last night. And he's like, I'm totally watching this game right now. How are you not watching it? I'm like, commercials, bro. So, anyways, I watched it this morning, and I had 3 cups of coffee. Let me tell you, I was jacked. Wicked.
Just fired up.
Just loving it. Top shelf.
It's the best.
Snipe.
But so through all that, so it's just been a weird time. So we're just hoping for drafts, anything, just to kind of keep, the love of sports going. General. Just love it. So, and Trevor and I have always been big draft guys. We watch the NHL draft together. We watch the NFL draft together. Like, we really dive into this stuff.
We have for years.
Tried to give our opinions. We've even done like mock drafts, which I think we'll actually get into, but we'll do that probably later on when we get closer to the draft. Do something for social media. Also, by the way, we have social media now. So for anybody looking, we have Instagram from the Bench Podcast. We have Facebook. It'll all be up. It'll all be running. So anybody wants to follow us on there, great, awesome. And we actually have, if you're listening to this, you already know where to find the podcast. But if not, if you're looking for other spots, you can always go. We have the link there for all the different places to find the show. So, yeah. So, Q draft prospects. Who's your first guy, Trevor? Who's the first?
Let's talk about the first overall selection. What do you think
overall?
About that?
There you go.
You want to lead off there? Is he one of your guys?
He is not one of my guys.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
really?
He's an obvious choice, so I didn't want to.
No, but I think we should dive into it. Like,
100%. I think he's a great guy, right? Like, and we've watched him.
You can go off the top of your head, don't you think?
Oh yeah. 100%.
With him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can chime in is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Alex, how do you say his last name?
Lafreniere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, or left winger, sorry. Okay, so if all of you who are hiding, he was in the World Juniors this year. So you must have seen the odd game, I hope, for your sake anyways. He's a 6'1" left winger, 192 pounds. Like, what can he do? He can score. He's got crazy vision. He's physical. Like, he developed that the last couple of years. But me and Eric had the pleasure of seeing him when he was a rookie in the Q.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he was a beast then. And he's what he's become now is just a complete hockey player. Not only is he good offensively, people, he's in the right spots defensively. He plays in all 3 areas of the rink. I love it. He's a great leader. I think he showed that this year
in the World Juniors.
And it was something to watch. Like, came back from an injury.
Also, I'm not sure how his knee didn't just like disintegrate when it
he was a little lucky there. But thank God though, right? So
yeah, but
sorry, there's the American coming at me. Oh boy.
But yeah, so like Trevor said, we had the pleasure, being in the queue. We kind of watched them, and then the Moncton Wildcats actually played Rimouski the first round of that playoffs his rookie year, and Rimouski was good. Rimouski was like the 3rd overall team in the league. Moncton was closer to the bottom, and we actually drove up. Me, Trevor, and another buddy of ours drove up to Rimouski for Game 7 because it got there. Wore the jersey, everything else. Cheered.
You did.
Yeah, I don't care. I got heckled a bit by the locals in French, and I know a little bit of French, but not enough. But
they were pretty cool, though. They were pretty good.
For the most part, they were good. The old guys were giving it to us beside us, but just watching that guy play, even then, like, he was so good. Lighting up as a rookie. Went last year, was the most valuable player in the queue. And to be honest,
skate's really nice, man. He's just a dream. Like, he's what the Ottawa Senators, I'll say it, or Detroit Red Wings
they need.
Like, that's what they need, and he's a class above everybody else. That's kind of wanted to give him his recognition. And
to be honest, he probably would have came out first overall last year. He's a late birthday, so the guys that he actually went in the Q draft with, like Pelche, Poulin, bunch of guys. They all got taken last year.
Exactly.
But so he's a late birthday, so he's got pushed back to this year. But even then, like if he came out this year, or if he came out last year, he would have been the same. He would have been first overall. He's that good. He was, like I said, CHL player of the year last year. He's gonna be it again this year. He was lighting it up with points. The guys, and he like you said, he added like a more physical part to his game this year. Like it got a little
He
more
really
gritty.
did, though.
And
big time.
And he played on the line sometimes. Like he had some big hits that were, whatever. And he gets suspended at some points this year, right? So, it's one of those things, but it's good.
He's leading the charge though in the trenches. I love it. You can't teach leadership. You know what I mean? And you can't teach skill for that either. But
well, it's one of those things too. When he came in, and we saw it firsthand in that series. Moncton put Dylan Seitz.
What a beauty.
But they put Dylan Seitz on him for, the whole series, and had him shadow him and just, follow him and beat him up and run him in a bit. And you could tell it, and you see it a lot in like these younger skilled guys when they go to the Q, and then when they go to the NHL, a lot of times guys just start picking on you because they know they can, and a lot of times they have a hard time controlling their emotions. I think he'll be better in the next, in the NHL when it comes to that stuff, because he kind of already had to deal with that in the queue. But yeah, he's good. He's so good. He's big. He's strong.
Seasoned.
He's seasoned. He can score. He can see sees the ice really well. Like
probably the best in his draft class, like we said, first overall.
It's not even a question. Like people tried to, every year, all these other sports places try to talk. Oh, do we do? It could be him, Taylor, Tyler, Connor.
That was a legit one there.
Yeah, Connor, Eichel, and there's been lots of good first and second overall picks, but they always try to make it, who could
hype it up,
who could, maybe they'll switch. No, it's him, and there's no doubt about it. So
totally agree.
So I went for my first person. I went, and like I guess him, we obviously talk about a little bit more about him. The other ones I might try to keep a little quicker and simpler, but that guy just he deserves all the talk he gets because he's that good. So we get Justin Barron out of Halifax, D-man.
Oh, would.
He was also he's just solid. He's 6'2", 187 pounds. He played in 34 games this year, so he was injured a bit, but he had 4 goals, 15 assists. He's just solid. Everyone I've talked to that, I have friends in Halifax, a couple guys that are season ticket holders. They love the guy. They thought he's just good in his own end. I know when we got Jared McIsaac from Halifax and Moncton, one of the guys was actually saying like, wow, like you can have Jared. Like I didn't want to lose Justin Barron. And I was like, what? And like Jared McIsaac's a heck of a player.
He's a beauty. Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. They
exactly him. Right. But it's Justin Barron is he's going to be good in the next level. Does he go right up to the NHL next year? No way. Right. Like he's probably definitely a guy that spends 2 or 3 years down and then eventually gets the shot. But he's just a solid
good
D
puck
guy.
Moving
can move it.
Defenseman as well.
Exactly. Right. So I said, see what he can do at the next level. But I said, I was always really impressed by him. They said, even when you saw him, we saw them last year in the playoffs and stuff. Like he was young then, and he was still good. They still had a lot of faith in him. So I think it shows a lot about him as a whole. So who else do you got?
Well, I'm gonna go with my boy Quentin Byfield here. 6'4" people. 6'4". Everybody in the Western Conference, they like their size, but I thought we
were doing Q players.
No. You got to throw. Actually, 2 of the 3 of mine are Q players. So
okay. I just wanted to.
Sorry, I thought you meant overall. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
good. You're good.
Bad.
You're good.
I wonder if you have my third choice though. I'm really interested to see that. Okay, back to what I was gonna say. So 6'4".
Big power forward.
Oh, he's big, huge. Okay, I'll give you some numbers here. Played in 45 games this year. He had 32 goals, 50 assists for a total of 82 points. And he's not even – I don't even think he's kind of hit the ceiling yet in the OHL. It's kind of one of these things he's 17. Yeah, so I really think next year just kind of the first guy we talked about, he'll really, put on a show next year.
Yeah, because he's almost a full year younger than him. It's just, like I said, because
Exactly.
of the late birthday, it's why he got pushed back to this draft. But yeah, no, Byfield, he's a big kind of that old school power forward.
He is. He skates all right for a big man. Like, he's not crazy fast. Like, but he's fun to watch. Like, if you go, like, I recommend you guys go watch. Just throw it in the YouTube there and watch their highlights.
Watch some highlights.
Byfield's unreal. Like, he's got a decent shot. He likes to pass too, obviously. Like, it's a 50 assists, but he's just as good. He can dangle a little bit. He's surprising for a big man. He controls the puck really well. How do you not take a shot at him? Like, 6'4". Like I said, his skating's not amazing, not blazing speed, but he holds his own.
And I think
a little
some
physical, not physical enough, but he's 17.
I think some people gave him, a hard time because he didn't, he's supposed to be the second overall pick going into this year.
He's dropped down, I believe,
and he's dropped down to some people see him as a third or fourth or fifth. I've seen a couple people. But
there's no way. Do you actually think though he goes lower than 3? Like, I can't see it.
I can't see it. I guess it depends. Depends who what everyone has in the farm, but I can't see it just on the chance alone, right? But a lot of people gave him a little bit of a hard time because of he didn't really shine at the World Juniors. Like I said, he's a full year younger than Lafreniere.
Exactly,
right?
And Lafreniere was the same way his first year.
Yeah, because a lot of these coaches don't give the guys.
Exactly.
A lot of coaches don't give these guys a chance, right? So, okay, so my next guy, I decided to go with the Moncton player. We watched him play now for the past 2 years. It's Elliot Desnoyers. He's a left winger, 5'11", 180 pounds. He had in 61 games played this year, he had 11 goals, 24 assists. But he was a plus 13. He played well on his own end. And I've always said, like, the kid can dangle in a phone booth if he wanted to. Like, he's that good. A lot of people expected him to take a big step this year. Unfortunately, he kind of went the other way. He kind of took a step back. And it's hard when you have all these guys that are, so good on this team. You get pushed back to the third and the fourth line. You don't get quite as much. Yeah, exactly. And they had
lots of skill this year.
And they had Zach Leroux, which I'm sure next year we'll have the same conversation about him. But
he's a beauty.
He came in and kind of stole his spot on the top 6. But yeah, he played third and fourth. Decent. At some points it seemed like he really got the kick in the ass, and he really kind of turned it on. But yeah, like, the kid's got great hands, can get in front of the net, not afraid to go to the dirty areas, but he's got to work on his shot. He's got to work on his skating.
Good hockey sense, though.
But he's got good hockey sense, yeah. So I think he's a project 100%, right? Like, he doesn't even, he doesn't sign a 3-way, his 2-way contract, this year if he gets drafted, it's probably only down the line. He'll probably play.
If he gets drafted, it'll be later on too.
Yeah, he'll probably be like 5th round or something like that. It's just a random guy. Like I said, he's a local guy. I've got the pleasure of watching the kid play for, the last 2 years, and I think he can be good. He's just got to work on some stuff and to take it to the next level. So, who do you got for your third one?
Okay, here's one for you.
Yeah.
Dawson Mercer. What do you think?
Ooh, the Newfie boy.
Yeah, they say he's played this year. He played a little bit of center, but I'd still put him as a right wing. I really like his game. He's got an unreal release. Like, go watch his highlights, people. It's awesome. He plays in all three. Another guy who plays in all 3 areas of the game. Like, by that I mean both ends, offense and defense. He's unreal on the power play. He's got great vision. He's another guy who's got hockey sense. Like, he's just smart. He's always in the right position, it seems. Like I said, his shot it's a pro shot. Like, his release, I wouldn't put him up there with Matthews, but he gets it off really quick. It's kind of deceiving.
Yeah.
He also kills the penalties, which I really, really like. And he scored a lot of shorthanded goals. I don't have the stat of shorthanded goals in front of me, but he did play. Wasn't it Drummondville, and then he got traded this year?
Yeah.
He was in Drummondville. I
Yeah,
know
he was in
that he
Drummondville, and then
was
he
playing
went.
with really, really young guys,
Yeah,
and he was still killing it. Actually, he had better points there, but he didn't have a crazy year. Like I got his stats right here in front of me. So he played 42 games, 24 goals, 36 assists for a total of 60 points, which is a little bit. When he got traded from Drummondville, he didn't have the production, but he also got hurt.
yeah.
So
Well, like I said, you look at he's got 20 less games played than Desnoyers almost, right? So Desnoyers
exactly.
had
So that's a
61.
big
So
deal.
it's a big amount, but yeah, the kid's good. You saw it in
Not
the
great
run.
size, but not puny either. Did I
No,
write that down? He's 6 foot, 181 pounds.
yeah, could
Like I
bulk
said, they
up a
were
bit.
playing him. They were playing him in center towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he didn't look out of place, but that'd kind of be one of those you got to go to the
Well,
AHL and
he was one of those
figure it
guys.
out.
He was one of those guys that was brought in to make a run at the Memorial Cup and everything else, right? So
He's a beauty though. Like I'm really recommending go watch his highlights. He's exciting, man. Like and his shots unreal. Like he's deceiving and he scores. Like he's a hell of a player.
Trevor's all offense on this
I
prospect
really am.
breakdown. loves all the offensive
Which
guys.
is totally not like me, but props.
Yeah,
Dawson Mercer, I'm telling you, he's going to be a steal for somebody.
I think he is. Like I said, he's just got that good old following the footsteps of Michael Ryder and all the other good Newfie boys from the years past, right?
I love it. I love it.
So my third guy, he's out of PEI. He's actually he's a New Brunswick boy. Out of St. Marie de Kent, Lucas Cormier, D-man. So he's 5'10", 170. So obviously he's a little bit on the smaller side. Could get a little bigger, but kid just played really well this year. 44 games played. He had 6 goals, 30 assists. Was a plus 12. He had 28 penalty minutes.
That's not bad.
Not too not crazy, but he's not obviously logging the big. They had other guys running the first pairing most of the time, but he's just a solid D-man. That new puck moving defenseman that you want in this age of hockey.
Looking for.
And I'm just excited for the kid. It's always good to see a New Brunswick boy. New Brunswick's not really known for their hockey. You got Jake Allen and a couple other guys that have come out over the past few years, but
poor Jake, he's coming off the bench now too.
Oh, poor Jake, he's coming off the bench. I think we all hope
he lost that one.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, right? So he's still got a ring. Who cares, right?
That's right. He's still getting paid. Still getting paid.
Still getting paid. But yeah, so he, like I said, Lucas Cormier, just nice to see another New Brunswick boy. And like I said, you watch the kid, he's really entertaining to watch, and you just tell like the kid's got it, right? So yeah, so that'll be that for. I had one other guy, but we'll put him off. Like I said, we'll probably do another one or two of these, as we're getting closer to the draft. Other prospects, whether it's from, us diving in on, watching Swedish games or, whatever we
got
got
a chance.
Try to get some highlights going for some of these prospects that are coming up. But so the feature player that we're going to talk about though, for this is the Taylor Hall trade, and Trevor actually had this suggestion, so I'll let Trevor kind of dive into it first.
All right, so I just wanted to go. So Taylor Hall, as you all know, got traded to Arizona from New Jersey earlier on in the year. New Jersey signed a whole bunch of people. It just didn't work out. I don't know. Weren't they the first to fire their head coach? I believe they were. I want to say, yeah. No, they weren't.
No, well, it's weird. It's one of those. No, there was like 30 other teams first, but that's because everybody got onto this whole abuse thing this year. Like there's been, I can't remember anymore. I think he ended up. Didn't the guy that got fired? Didn't he like get hired somewhere else like shortly after in New Jersey? Yeah, I can't remember who it is, but anyways, beyond the point. So he gets traded to Arizona for a boatload of picks, and prospects. And 2 years ago, this guy was the Hart, the winner of the Hart, right?
He's been banged up ever since, though. So,
and he
hasn't come close in the point total either, which is kind of
not last
shocking.
year or this year. So, it's a lot to give up for Arizona, and they kind of took the same approach that Columbus did last year. Look, if we just sit back and say, "Well, they'll never sign with us, or they'll never do this, or it's never going to happen," right? So I think they finally said, like, screw it. Our fans deserve for us to.
They tried to make the kind of what Columbus did, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Less
I think,
extreme, but the bigger splash. Like Taylor Hall's a huge name.
yeah.
Like one of the better left wingers, maybe. I don't know. He's up there.
Yeah, and he's, like you said, he's got the potential. It's a lot of it's always been that he gets hurt. So it's kind of it's hard. You hope that he stays for their sake.
He's only been in the playoffs once, though.
It's bad.
And that was with New Jersey.
Yeah, and they didn't do anything, right? So it's one of those things. It's you hope that it's. I always hate when people say, "Well, losing follows these players around." I know. I like Matt Duchene. A lot of people say the same thing about him, and it's like, do you realize like there's so many other people on a team rather than that one player? And if he's still putting up points and he's not
a team sport. It's a team sport.
It's one of those things. It's there's a lot of other things that go into it. To blame one player is not fair. He does have to like kind of step up more, I think. But I said Arizona said, screw it, we're going in. They brought in Phil the Thrill. They brought in Philly Kessel.
They just Arizona though is a funny team because like you said, they bring in Phil. They trade for Taylor Hall, and they can't seem to score goals, which is mind-boggling.
Do you know who their leading scorer was before
Connor Garland, boy? He's up there. He's in their top 2.
He was.
He's got their top goals. I know that.
Yeah. So little guy, but I said local guy also just putting.
He's right now in the NHL. He's probably the best bargain for the bang for the buck because I know for a fact he's got to be.
He's got to be. And he just goes. It's weird, right? Because he played such a.
He was dominant in junior. He was just dominant in junior.
Played for.
It's not even fair.
Just lightening up 120 some points 2 years in a row. He was just. He saw it's one of those things you saw it from the first time you watched a kid play. Like when he was 16, I remember it wasn't even his offensive skills. Like you could tell that he was good, but it was his defensive skills. Like he thought the game faster than the offensive player could.
Man.
So he
did dangle like he makes defensemen look like pylons out there. Like it's just that bad. It's insane. He could walk through a whole team in junior. It's crazy. Like he's modified his game in the NHL. He's actually really gritty in the NHL, which I love. Goes to the dirty areas. Last year he took the puck right off the checklets.
Oh yeah,
right off the face. Remember that? He scored actually off his. It was amazing. Deflected off his face and went in.
Pretty sure it was the second of the night, but but you expect Taylor Hall to be the leading scorer on that team, and here it's Connor Garland, right? So a guy making a million
from the fourth line all the way up to the top line, playing with Taylor Hall. Can you imagine?
Yeah, so
he's living it from Boston area somewhere up
Boston.
There.
Yeah, so it's one of those things is you just hope Taylor Hall can like kind of catch back on, and obviously at this point we have no idea what's going to go on with the season. They could shut the whole season down.
Here's another thing: what do you pay Taylor Hall? Like, so he played 65 games, he has 16 goals, which is I'd say a little disappointing.
I think,
and he's got 36 assists. He's got 52 points in total. Like. Holy macaroni. So what are you going to pay this guy?
Well, that's the thing, right? What do you pay him? Do you pay him?
52 points. Would you pay him 7.5? I know I wouldn't want to.
It's one of those things, right? Like, and I think a lot of these guys, there's, you got him, you got a bunch of guys that wanted big contracts. And the other thing is a lot of these guys that were like banking on, they might see it because of this whole, issue, right? They might not get the big contracts because these teams have lost out on a lot of money, right? The salary cap might not bump up, because of lost revenue and everything else, right? So it's one of those things, is he worth 6? Yeah, he's worth probably 6 just on, the potential alone.
He's worth 6 for sure. Like he's a top 6 forward. It's just, I don't know.
I think it's one of those things maybe you do like.
You can't overpay him, right?
No, maybe you do like a 6.5 with a bunch of bonuses, right? Like, that's a way I think a lot of these teams.
He's gonna get more than 6.5.
But I think you do it with the potential of making up to like 8 or something, right? Like you have it that if you score 40 goals this year, you get
Arizona though. I'm gonna say to you, they do have cap space.
Yeah, they always have cap space. It's just
and then would they overpay Keller? I can't remember what Keller's getting, but Slightly overpaid.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? When you have all these good young guys and you have all these prospects, and that's just the day and age we live in now with all these prospects is everybody wants to get paid on the first contract. You know, you look at Matthews, you look at Rantanen,
The NHL's really changed
David,
that way.
you look at all these guys, right? They're all getting big money. You know, they're the highest paid players right now. They're all guys that are on their second contract, right? Just out of their entry level. Like it's crazy, but you know, not the world we're used to, but you know, that's
do you really want to see, what do you think with Taylor Hall? Like, if you were going to say, if he was going to walk away from Arizona this off season, where do you want to see him go? Give me one team, just spit one out.
It's so odd. I don't know.
Well, I'll spit one out for you first.
Yeah.
If he leaves Arizona, which I kind of like, I like him in the desert, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But if he leaves Arizona, you know where I'd like to see him go?
Where?
Edmonton.
Edmonton? You want to go?
Hello, Connor McDavid.
You want the reunion?
I would like it, man. Even him playing with Draisaitl, could you imagine?
Yeah, it just brings up a whole other option,
and
right?
Nuge? Oh my God! Like, and you get Hall back to when he was shooting the puck. Just, you know what I mean? Just tell him to shoot the puck. Well,
yeah.
I think it'd work out anyways. Like, he doesn't have to shoot the puck. What did I tell you? 36 assists. He's been mostly in a passer offer, a setter up guy
which is not what you ever expected from the guy, but
exactly.
But it's maybe he decides he wants to get some sun, right? Maybe he goes down to one of the California teams and goes down to play for Anaheim or
I can't see it though. Like, I really think he's going to a contender.
Yeah.
You know, because like this is a guy who's been in the playoffs 1 year. Like that, you know, he publicly come out and said like, it drives him nuts.
It drives, how couldn't it, right? Like it's, you
no kidding. That's a lot of losing, Eric. That's a lot of losing in his prime years.
It's odd because you don't know where, like, a lot of these contenders, they don't have the, a lot of cap space for a big, $7-8 million year guy, right? Like it just doesn't happen. You almost kind of got to get a team on the fringe that might want to, spend a little bit. So, and it's odd.
I think somebody's going to pay him. I honestly think somebody's going to pay him.
You know, like I said, why? Because
if he does leave Arizona, like I'd like to see him go to Edmonton, but I don't know how that worked money wise. But like a lot of me, like a big part of me wants to see him stay in Arizona. Like Arizona's somewhat close. I don't know. They're a funny team. They should be better than what they are.
They had a lot of injuries this year too with like the goalies. I think that was a big kicker for them. Kemper got hurt.
I'm a big Kemper fan.
Blanking on the other one, but they had like a hard time with injuries this year, which you lose your top goalie or your top two goalies, and it's hard, right? Like it's
what happened to Phil Kessel this year?
Yeah, well, I don't know, too many.
Maybe this is his worst
year. Maybe not enough
ever,
cheeseburgers.
Really.
Maybe not enough cheeseburgers. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with a double cheeseburger. I'm just
I'm all for double cheese, but maybe there's just not as good food in the desert as there is in Pittsburgh. But
Scottsdale, boy.
Scottsdale. So we'll move on to. I guess I want to get your thoughts on how you thought the Leafs season went. Before everything happened.
Inconsistent.
Like that?
It's like a roller coaster. Exactly. Like the Maple Leafs come out of the gates and they were thunder and lightning, and like that's exactly. Let's just use thunder and lightning for their season. Like, come out and play one game dynamite, score 7 or 8 goals, and have like 2 against, and then come out the next night and lose 8-7. Like it
just doesn't.
It's exciting hockey sometimes, but like. What really grinds my gears is, like, it shows some heart. Like, there's some nights that they don't even want to forecheck. Like, come on, man. Like, you're wearing the blue and white. You're one of the original 6 franchises. It should mean something to you. Like, and so they turn it over to this young regime. Where'd all the heart go? Like, I almost want to say they're missing a little bit more heart. Like, towards the end here when they paused us off the regular season, it was looking a little bit better, but there's still the odd game where they're just throwing duds. Like, it was horrible.
It's one of those things, right? Like you can almost wonder, like, it's
always not the goaltending, people.
It's always good to laugh and joke and have a good time with the other guys on the team, but and it's easy for us to talk about this, right? We're sitting over here in our houses talking about this, never played at a professional level, but it's like you think that you'd bring it, like, just to see the guys, like, if they had the work ethic that, DJ Smith over in Ottawa has kind of put into them.
It's certain guys. Dude.
It'd
not the whole
be
team.
totally different though.
So I'm just gonna come out and say that it's
no,
certain guys.
But it's one of those
when
things
you
like
Jake Muzzin coming out and calling the guys out probably 3 weeks in a row, calling certain guys out. Like there's a problem.
That's
you know,
the thing,
like
right? So,
just because you get paid doesn't mean you don't show up and play the game. Like you're wearing the blue and white. Have some freaking pride. So and then towards the end of it, you know, I love Matthews, but when we're on the penalty when we're on the power play, and you're trying to force feed him the puck, like, you know, work the other guys, like give Tavares a look, give Willie a look, get what I mean? Because it's just too obvious. Like the guys are gluing to him, and it's just simple things. Well, I say simple things. It's not simple things, but if I see it and I'm an average Joe hockey fan, you know what I mean? Like just an average Joe.
Yeah.
You know, come on. How can other people not see it?
That's the hard part about it, right? Like,
and we got deadly guys. Like I love Matthews, and he can score goals. Yeah, but so can Tavares. Yeah. So can a lot of these other guys. That's all I'm saying, right?
Yeah. No.
Spread the wealth.
Your team
does it well for the most part.
Sort of. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just odd for you guys. Like I said, you hope that they turn it together because they have all these young guys on all these big contracts. Like, you know, you get 30,
our goaltending, man.
You get over 30 million between two guys.
Freddie is a beauty. We do have our faults, yeah, for sure. Like Freddie is a beauty. He's not the problem in Toronto. And we've got some good defensemen, and we're working on these young fellas. Well, people, there's gonna be rough patches with young guys. It's how the new NHL works. Like Eric just mentioned it. Got to do with money. And I really do like Sandin, and I really do like Liljegren. Like for every one bad game that Liljegren's had, he's had a really good game. If he keeps it simple, you know, it's just the growing pains. Just like any other league, when you come up, unless you're a stud, you know, you're gonna make mistakes. And some nights Sandin looks like a beauty, and then some nights why would he throw the puck there? You know, that's how it goes. Inconsistency, young players.
And you guys,
you know, it's a theme with Toronto.
And we'll, you know, you guys lost, you know, a big player, and we'll use this to transition. But you guys lost Nazem Kadri, right? So you guys lose Nazem Kadri over to us at the Avalanche. You know, and that's a big thing, right? Like he kills penalties. He's good on faceoffs. You know, he brings that extra grit.
Sandpaper.
And I find that's the one thing with the Avalanche this year. Like I said, we'll move over to the Avalanche, but
quiet leadership too. I hate to say it, but he's got a presence. You know what I mean? He really does have a presence.
And he's been hurt before everything happened. He was hurt for the last couple of weeks or whatever before everything was shut down.
He brings it every game.
But he brings it, right? Like I remember, you know, they ran somebody ran Jonas Donskoy. What was his name? Buddy from New York, and Kadri stuck up for him, right? Chased Buddy down, dropped the gloves, you know, went after him. Like that's what you want out of this guy. You know, that's what you expect to see out of, you know, your players.
Broke my heart last year, man. If we could have just had him for the majority of that series.
Yeah.
And we went 7 games with Boston. I don't think Boston gets by us, but that's how it goes, man. You know, you gotta use this thing up here, you know, between your two eyes.
Yeah.
Gotta be smart about it. You know, emotions run high when there's high stakes.
Yeah. So
son of a.
And with the Avalanche this year, I've actually been pretty impressed for everything they've done. They've had a ton of injuries. But you guys have definitely managed it better than we have. Yeah, but we've also been without, you know, we were without Rantanen, we were without Landeskog for both big chunks of the year. Cale Makar, rookie of the year, but he's been injured. You know, he's missed a handful of games too, right, throughout the year.
You don't realize how important guys are until they're missing out of their lineup.
Well, at one point,
Riley.
At one point, we were starting our third and fourth string goalies because both Grubauer and Francouz were both injured, right? So we're starting 2 guys out of the AHL.
Was it Frank Cruz? He's that older. He's the left-handed catching.
Yeah.
Man, he's a beauty.
Yeah.
He's just solid back there. He's nothing like fancy.
Yeah.
He just gets it done. Like he battles. I love it.
No, he's good.
It's what you want in a backup.
Like I said, you just between everybody, you know, I think the one thing to kind of explain the Avalanche this year is just resilience. Like I said, no matter what the injury was, they battled through it. You know, they had, like I said, just go through the list. You know, Colin Wilson, you know, he missed almost the entire year. He hasn't
played at all.
He was shut down. Matt Calvert's missed time, Kadri, Rantanen's missed big chunks, Landeskog, McKinnon actually got hurt right before everything got suspended.
Got paused, yeah.
You said McCarr missed time. Johnson missed a little bit of time too, I believe. Just like I said, go down through the list and everybody's missed time, and somehow at the end of the day, they're the third in the league, right? Like,
you guys have to be a close net team, Colorado. Like, you know what I really like what they've done is this offseason they signed a bunch of guys that weren't massive names, but it just seems like everybody they signed worked out and fit in excellent.
Well,
who'd they get from San Jose? That guy is a beauty.
Donskoy, man.
Oh, he's one of my he's a pleasure to watch, man. Like, he's gritty. He's got a little sandpaper. He can finish. He's having a good offensive year.
Well, you get Donskoy.
Skates like a breeze for a big guy.
You get Valerie
he's a good player.
You get Nikushkin out of Dallas. So they signed him for
I do like
nothing.
him too, yeah.
He hasn't scored in like a year and a half. Goes out and he's putting up like, I think he's got like 13 goals or something like that. Like,
perfect. Would you not say like perfect example of a new scenery, like needing a new fresh start?
That's it, right? You just give him the chance.
Just the pressure, I think, got to him.
He's got a lot of stuff. We get Burakovsky out of Washington. He played really well for us.
His best year in the NHL, one of them.
One of them, exactly. So we get him. Like I said, you just go down through the list. Ian Cole played really well. Ryan Graves, Nova Scotia boy, he's out there just plugging away. Leading the league in plus minus for most of the year, just being that dependable guy sitting back,
he's getting it done, plain and simple,
right? So, and he, we traded, for him from the Rangers, and just stole it. We traded him Chris Biegra, and it worked out great, right? So it's one of those things that I'm excited. The one good thing about this is if and when the pause kind of comes off for the league, a lot of these teams are going to be healthy, back full strength. So it's kind of nice as an Avalanche fan. That's one good thing, I guess. The silver lining for us is we were literally limping in with, a bunch of guys out or just getting back. And like I said, you finally get some guys back, and all of a sudden McKinnon goes out. So now, he has time to heal up everything else and, maybe be good for the, the next,
this pause and play though, it hurts a team like Colorado.
Oh,
here you are, you're firing on all cylinders. I know you've got a lot of injuries. Like Nate was out there towards the end, like you said.
Yeah.
But you're firing on all cylinders. You're finding ways to win. You're winning 3-2. You're winning 2-1. You're winning 4-3. They're getting goals from everybody. They play all four lines, which I really like. You guys got a decent penalty kill. You're off, like your power plays wicked. Great team speed, good forechecking. Here's another thing I hate about Toronto. They don't forecheck good enough. You know who's a beauty on their team? Hyman. Why? Because he goes and gets the puck. He gets in there, he forechecks,
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
You can't be scared, right? Like, that's the one good thing,
They just don't want to go get
I seen something the other day, and they said, like, the most the NHL players poll or whatever, and who do you think the best forward is in the NHL? And it went the typical McDavid, Crosby, but right after there was, McKinnon.
Pass was up there.
Yeah, and it was McKinnon. Just he's so dangerous, and he's elevating this team even when both the other guys are there's so many other guys out. It's literally just McKinnon out there by himself, and he's elevating it. So, like I said, we're gonna take the skates off, get off the ice, and we're gonna move over to the gridiron. So we're gonna talk about a couple.
Oh, wait. One more thing before we do that. So, okay, would you not agree? I'm just going to throw this out there. Would you not agree, though, with this pause and play? So, let's say NHL does start back up. We finish the regular season and head into the playoffs. The goal scoring is going to be unreal. It'll be like the start of a new season all over again. You know what I mean? Where it's less defensive.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? It's going to be more offensive. It's going to be 6-5. It's going to be ridiculous, I think, with scoring and stuff.
You got to get a couple
The defense,
guys.
what I'm trying to say is the defense isn't going to be as good. You're going to see goals.
I think I don't know about that, though, because one thing you kind of have.
It's just like, just think about it. It's just like going for break at Christmas or that whatever they do now in the NHL. They take a week off.
The difference now, though, is nobody can go to the rink and go skating. Nobody can go to, all these guys.
It's going to be sloppy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
it's going to be a lot of goal scoring.
I think there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be like kind of just not in the best shape. and because they can do their home workouts and whatever. Like I know, same thing.
Martha, pizza again? No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Nathan McKinnon has a home gym, right? So he can do that. But like a lot of these guys don't, right? A lot of these guys aren't making the big money, so they don't have a chance to put a full gym in their place. So I think you're gonna see some sluggish play. I think you're gonna see some guys that are a little them working themselves, playing themselves into shape.
Trying to get rid of that old spare tire, Haas.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, here's to hoping that it comes back. It's going to be.
Would you agree, though? Do you think, I think it's going to be, let's say, the stoppage of play gets a little sloppy and the goal scoring is always high.
Maybe.
Do you think it'll be like that for a couple weeks?
No, I think it'll be the opposite. I think it'll be down a little bit just because of guys not
more
being
defensive.
in the best shape. Yeah, I think guys just aren't going to have the same wheels. Maybe some of the guys will, but I don't know.
I love it that you have a different opinion of me. Okay, we'll agree to disagree.
There you go.
And I'm going to say there's going to be lots of goals.
There you go.
Giddy up.
So going over the football. So NFL draft, we are less than a month away. It's April. It's this month, Trevor.
I'm excited.
It's here.
Actually, today's April 1st. So what is it? April Fool's Day.
April Fool's.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, so we're going to get into a couple prospects that we liked coming into the draft. And once again, I'll let Trevor go first with his first prospect. That he wants to...
Man, my picks are all sexy when it comes to football.
Oh, of course they are.
Oh man.
Trevor's probably got receivers and running backs only here.
I do but I do have no running backs, but I do have receivers.
What? I was for sure. I was like, I'm betting Trevor's got like at least one running back, if not two, because Trevor loves running backs.
Let's go with the receivers. So I didn't watch as much college as I normally do. I try to watch as much as I can.
Yeah.
Let's go with the Bama wide receiver here, Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if anybody got to watch him, he's a treat to watch. First of all, he's fast as hell. I don't have his size in front of me and stuff, but he's a bigger receiver, not massive. I should probably watch what I say when it comes to that. But he's really fast. He's really known for his route running. He's fluent, but man, he's just a beauty. He's explosive. He's the kind of guy you just need to get the ball in his hands. He's just was unreal for Bama. Like to beat Tua, I couldn't even imagine because really they had 3 starting number 1 receivers there, and like for them guys to work together the way they did and just share touches, their numbers could have been inflated even more. So what do you think of Judy, Eric? I'd love to see him wear the gold and not the gold. Sorry, it'd be the silver and black. I'd love to see him go to Oakland.
The Raiders. They do love the freak athletes, right? Like that's
no, but he's to me he's not. I wouldn't put him as a Julio Jones, but like he's up there coming out of college. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like Julio Jones was hyped. But he was unreal. Did you not like him? Like I really
liked him, especially obviously he doesn't look as good when you take out Tua out of that offense, right? But
you got to get the ball.
But when he was in there, like he's a number 1 receiver, right? So
he's a beauty.
Any team would be lucky to have that guy. At the end of the day, you everyone's looking for these. Receivers.
You know what, people? Next time, I hate to say this, but next time I will have. Maybe the stats of the college guy. I don't have the football stats in front of me. So next time when we do this, and if we do a couple football guys, I will make sure I have stats. But it's not all about stats. It's just like, leadership, a lot of other qualities, big plays at the right time. Like the college playoff, he was just amazing. And in the regular season. And like you said, Eric, Tua wasn't there, So – that's kind of a grind. You're playing a whole season with somebody and, the ins and outs. You can just throw it up to the guy because you just know where he's going to be, and that goes away towards the end of your year. It's kind of like you're in training camp all over again with your second guy.
Yeah.
Well, can I not say that, 100%. It's kind of a big deal.
No, that's one of those things, right? Like it's you kind of almost – relearn the system because it's never going to be as
another thing, people fantasy wise, you want to take a look at this guy. Like if you're in a dynasty league or you got keepers or something, this is a guy you want to take a serious look at. if you can steal this guy, I don't know. It's going to be worth it. He's going to get touchdowns. He's going to get numbers. Like he's going to get the ball.
And you can see him. The
elite wide receiver.
People have him all over the place. The black and silver is kind of one of the most popular ones. Throw him with Derek Carr, Marcus May, whoever the hell they plan on using at quarterback.
And I think both those a former teammate in the backfield there for I don't think of his name. Jacoby?
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs. That's right.
Yeah, so
he's a beauty. Oh yeah.
Trevor's favorite word, by the way, is beauty. If anybody's wondering. So it's one of mine too. I can't even say anything.
Okay, I'll change it up. He's a beast.
He's a beast. There you go. So no, I think Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to be a dominant player in the next level.
Real deal.
I don't know. It's always hard for these rookie receivers. A lot of them haven't really shone, right off the get go the last couple of years. But I guess we'll wait and see. First guy I have off the board is not first off the board. Sorry, first on my list, because he's definitely not going first overall. The first one I have is an offensive lineman out of Georgia, Andrew Thomas.
You did not take an offensive. That is not a sexy pick, Eric.
I love offense. I love offensive line. Like you'll anyone realize like I just watch like offensive line and defensive line film because I just love that stuff.
That's how games are won in the trenches, baby.
But so all year, because I've been watching the tackles of this draft because I'm a Chargers fan. So with being a Chargers fan, we have zero line. And I'm like, who can we take next year to like get us to the next step? Andrew Thomas was listed as like the best, tackle all year long. Now some guys are, because of the draft combine, which I always laugh. Like if you watched a guy all year and you thought he looked so good all year, and then all of a sudden another guy comes out that wasn't as good actually playing the game of football, and you're like, well, yeah, but he tested really well at the combine.
That's a tricky one.
It's like, yeah, but like it's okay. Well, he tests really good, but the other guy didn't test bad.
Film doesn't lie. That's the way I feel about it, right? Like
Lamar Jackson, man, the guy was
film
electric.
does not lie, but film does not say it all. Like depends who you play for.
It's
program, the whole nines.
Exactly right. If you're playing, I'm sure with him playing in Georgia, right? Like you got a lot of other good defensive linemen. Same as like Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin always has a good offensive line. So
and Georgia's going to play some good.
You're playing with other good offensive linemen, so you're going to look better, right? Like as a whole, when you're not trying to cover up for the left guard beside you, that's terrible. That might get beat, so you're cheating that side to kind of help chip. With him.
Don't say terrible. That's horrible. Just say not as good. Just not.
I'm not saying his. I'm just saying like in general, right? So
I'm just joshing you. Just giving you a hard time.
But yeah, so the big thing with him, some people want him to have a little bit longer arms, and some people say his footwork needs a little bit of work. But most of those offensive linemen do coming out of the draft, right?
There's always everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses, and they're always working on something.
But
totally agree.
He's 6'5", 315, 36-inch arms. Like he's just a big old boy. 36 inches. That's 3 feet per arm. By the way, it's huge.
Massive.
So he's just.
So is he more of a run guy? Do you think, or is he all around?
No, I think he can do both. I can go left, go right, go whatever side you want him on.
I totally agree with you.
He's just. He's more of I guess more of a mauler than like a mover type of thing for an offensive line. But like I said, I think the guy is just really good. I said to go from being the top ranked defensive lineman almost all year to all of a sudden, he's down to second, third, fourth. Like that's stupid. So people just get enamored by all these big stats from the combine and stuff. So. Past that,
personally, man, I love the maulers because you can't teach if a guy to get out and like I used to play defense in high school way back in the day, but like you can't teach an offensive lineman to be aggressive and get out there and thud a guy
No.
But you can teach if you like you either have that or you don't, but you can teach a guy how to pass, like hold up and pass coverage, right? Like, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of technique, right? So who do you get for your second guy on your list?
Oh, buddy!
I stopped you halfway through through your drink.
I was about to. Shout out to Kickstart.
Yeah, not a sponsor, but not yet.
They're tasty.
Huh?
That's my favorite one. I'm all about the orange.
Oh, me too.
Mountain Dew. But anyways, let's go with another wide receiver from Oklahoma. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Lamb. I think I like him more than Judy. He's just a treat to watch. Like, another really explosive wide receiver. His catch radius is just ridiculous. Like,
It just doesn't make sense at some points.
Well, like seems like you could throw it like 5 yards to his right or left, and
He's
just
still
throw it up to the guy, let him make a play. Like he's exciting to watch. Like he was unreal. He played with Jalen Hurst this year. Last year he was with Kylo Murray. Man, it looked like him and Hurst played years together. Like the chemistry was great. He's just fun to watch. And I'll be surprised if like in a lot of mock drafts, now they got the 49ers grabbing him at 13. I'm surprised if he's there. Like, I'm not a big, and Eric can protest to this, but I'm not a big believer in drafting a receiver high in the first round or drafting a receiver at all in the first round. But, like, these two guys here, him and Judy, they're game changers. And I really think they're, explosive players. And he's another guy. If you're in a fantasy league, man, you want to get your hands on him.
Oh, especially
he's gonna have a big rookie
if you
year.
can put him in there for the Niners, right? Like, they have such.
Oh, sorry. Both of them can play in the slot. They can play out. They can play anywhere. They're great.
Yeah.
So both good in space. They're both. And not as good as a route runner, but he's still really up there.
Yeah, and like I said, depends on where he goes, right? There's lots of people, and I'm sure there'll be trades up and down and whatever, right? If there starts to be a run on them. Some people will want to see the Jets take a tackle.
This is a big time, deep draft.
Yeah.
For receivers and running backs. So just to put that out there, there's a lot of good receivers.
There is, and that's the thing, right? It's a deep draft when it comes to that. So sometimes when you see that, sometimes you see a little bit of a slide, right? So my second pick is the big edge rusher out of Penn State, Gross-Matos, I think is how you say it.
Close enough, because I can't pronounce
it. you think Trevor's bad with regular names? Wait till he tries to say this one. But he's 6'5", 266, 35-inch arms. So big old boy. Over the last 2 seasons, he's got 35 tackles for loss. He's got 17.5 sacks. He had 9.5 this year, 8 the year before. So it's nice to see that it wasn't just like a splash in the pan type of thing. I mean, like, it's not just like, oh, well, he just played really good this 1 year. I've always kind of skeptical about the guys that play really good for 1 year. You just kind of wonder, like, was
Burrows, you mean? Well, he didn't play 1 year, but he had one crazy year.
One crazy year, right? But it's just some guys, right? Like, it's like, can he do that again? Like, or is he just?
Is that a fluke?
Or is that a fluke? Yeah. Like, it's whatever, right? Did he play better because the scheme was better, or because there was a bunch of other better guys on his team? Or they're cheating to the other side. Like, was he just kind of, So it is what it is. But he's a solid guy. 40 tackles off the edge this past year. He said just a big, long, rangy. I
don't want to say freak, but he's a pretty good athlete.
Yeah, like, and it's
good in the pass. He's a hell of a rusher, but he's good in the run too. Like,
yeah, and I think
he's a good player.
I think he's gonna be something that you see go, past the 20th pick. I think you're gonna see him, probably going, end of the first round. Maybe he's
maybe not though, because how edge rushers, you know what I mean. Teams like to reach and they like to take a chance. So
yeah. There's other guys out there too, but I just, for whatever reason, I seem to like that guy. He's got to work on his hands some, his pad levels. It's just your basic stuff, right? A lot of these long, rangy guys, they're just athletes out there, right? So the coaches, a lot of the times with the athletes now, okay, you can't catch the ball. Okay, well, you're going to be an edge rusher, right? Like, just the way kind of all these guys work now.
J.J. Watt was once a tight end, I believe, tight end, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just get some of that
moved
stuff,
to defensive end. The rest is history, people. So
pretty good choice. I think
crazy.
I think he made a good choice switching it to the edge. But Yeah, so I know that's for me. I think that's, and then you could see him, like I said, going, I think at the end of the first round. I don't think he goes top 15 or anything. I think you'd see him go, I don't know. I don't know if you go, Raiders took somebody last year on the edge, on the line, maybe somebody like Jacksonville. There's lots of guys you can go with, I guess, but maybe the Patriots, maybe, you never know. I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
you.
I kind of hope they go. Off. Honestly, I'd like to see us go offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Could be tackle, center, guard, just the best, guy there. Or I'd really like us to see, kind of take, if there's a good linebacker there, to take a linebacker, because me and you talked before off air.
Yeah.
Our depth in linebackers really been scorched this offseason. We lost 3 linebackers for sure. So right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are more like better than average. So it is what it is. But I will put out that if you're a New England fan out there, we do have everybody coming back except one player on that first-ranked back end DBs. So that is a positive. It's not all negative in New England. So there you go. So are we gonna hit up my third choice here?
Yeah. So your third choice. Let's hear it.
I got Derek Brown, Auburn.
Ooh.
Defensive tackle. That's my sexy pick. Talk about a sexy pick. But anyways, love it. Like, he's a senior, so he's seasoned. He's just disrupts everything. Like, he's a tackle. He gets right to the quarterback, often pushes the offensive lineman right back on the lap of the quarterback. He's also really good in the run. I know it's, he's not a defensive end, but man, if you got a good tackle like a Dominican Sue, like, these guys can just dominate. Stop the run, make a team one-dimensional. He's also, for a big man, like, he's an unreal and underrated rusher for the quarterback. So if you can push that pocket back from the middle and the quarterback can't step up, as Eric knows, you're pretty much going to limit his options, and you're more likely to get to him or cause pressure or screw the play up. So, I know it's not a sexy position. Man, like, he's a really good player. He's above average. He's going to be the first defensive tackle taken off the board. That's a guarantee. And I don't know what team is going to be lucky enough to draft him or get their hands on him, but they're not going to regret it. You're going to plug him in. He's going to be there for 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go with him. Like, you see some guys talking about him going top 10. I don't know about doing that. But if he gets by a couple of these guys, like, does he fall a little bit? Defensive tackle's not as, like you said, not as sexy of a pick as a lot of these other ones. I love building through lines. I think if I was to draft, start a team tomorrow, and
that's how I do it.
I would offensive line first,
Offensive and defensive line, baby. In the trenches is how you win.
That's how you win.
If you don't have that quarterback, I think we both agree on that. If you don't have that quarterback, why not go back to the old game of trying to control the clock, run the ball? Well, like Sanchez, when his first 2 years, they went to the was it the AFC Championship they went to?
Both 2 years.
And they lost both years, but that was the Jets' recipe. They handed the ball off twice, and then the third down he threw.
Exactly right, but
it works.
A lot of it, you look at teams with good quarterbacks, right? I think we both of our teams have pretty good quarterbacks. Both of them struggled a little bit this year because of terrible offensive lines.
Mine did have a good quarterback.
Yeah,
not so much anymore.
Both of us, right?
Yeah,
we're sitting here with Jared Stidham and Tyrod Taylor.
Starting from scratch, baby, just the way I like it.
It's but it is what it is, right? So it's does Lamar Jackson, does he have as good of a year this year? If Marshall Yonda not protecting him, at guard, like you watch some of those early games against.
That's a big loss. People don't give that enough credit. Like, that is a big loss.
You look at Baltimore's games against Miami at the start of the year, and Lamar was throwing it around, and I think Lamar's electric, and I think he's great. He was another one that coming out of college, it just didn't make sense. It's like, have you not seen this guy play? The guy just puts up ridiculous numbers, nonstop.
Freak athlete. But I still miss, and I'm going to throw it out there because I know you grew up watching him too. Michael Vick, man. I still love Michael Vick.
And this is the new age of it, right? But it was.
But Michael Vick, though, he had a crazy arm. Like, he didn't remember that one year in Philadelphia, like video game numbers. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god!
why I said they made
Andy Reid, you are a genius.
Madden 04 was like the most ridiculous thing ever. But like I said, if you look at any of the pockets that Lamar Jackson had to throw with, you know, it was because he had all the time to throw, right? You know, you can sit back there and just wait for your guys to get open. You know, let the routes develop. It makes a world difference, right?
Let's get this out there. If you can run the ball, a really good example, this year, the 49ers. What did they do in the playoffs? They ran the ball. They didn't even – people go give Jimmy G a hard time. Well, he only threw this many passes. Well, let's be honest. If it's not broke, why fix it?
Tennessee did the same thing.
Maybe they should have – they kind of, in the Super Bowl – oh, Jimmy G didn't win it for them. Yeah, he missed a throw here or there, but he also got passes dropped right, that he put right in the bread baskets, and the receivers dropped it. So it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be this year, but they should have ran the ball. And
that's the thing about football, right? Like it's a sport where you can decide what you want to do, what kind of offense you want to run, right? If you want to be more of a defensive team, we watched Seattle be good for all those years. We watched, the years that, when it was Seattle and it was Baltimore and it was, the Niners, like a lot of those teams were all built because of good defense. Even the Patriots always have a good defense, right? Like
first three championships defense.
That's the way it is, right? So, and you look at a lot of these teams, even the Patriots last Super Bowl win, right? Like they won the game 10-3.
This is
what I mean? Like
and their defense this year was unreal, man. We wouldn't even finish with the amount of wins we had.
No,
I know
right?
we lost a couple down the stretch, but their defense was really amazing this year in New England.
No, but I did like I said, I do like that. I do like him. Derek Brown out of Auburn. Said senior.
I just don't think you can go wrong there.
No, I don't think so either. I think you plug and play him in defensive tackle, like you said, for the next 6-7 years at least, right? And then
he's above average defensive tackle, I think.
So my last pick, and this is my sexy pick. Okay, you ready for this? My sexy pick is Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson.
Oh, I love it.
So good. So guy's 6'4", 230. Just lit up the combine. Guy runs a 4.39 40. He's 6'4", 230, running a 4.39. Like
what a beauty!
Just ridiculous. 39 vert, 132 broad jump. It's just the guy is just so good. Comes out. Like I said, I like to see 2 years of production for a lot of this stuff. He had 104 total tackles this year. Had 89 last year. The sack numbers and the interceptions and stuff went up this year. He had 7 sacks, 3 interceptions, 8 passes defended, I think, this year. The sack numbers and stuff weren't there last year, but he still had the tackling numbers last year, which is still good. And the guy's just
you got to remember though that sometimes the scheme changes. Maybe they're putting him in more positions this year to get the numbers.
That's it, right? So you find a lot of that stuff too, right? So
exactly.
But he's one of those guys that I'm lucky enough to have him on my team. But he reminds me a lot of Derwin James. He's
talk about one of my favorites. I got a Florida State shirt actually on, people.
There you go.
He's a beauty.
But he's just out there flying around left, right, and center. Just the guy's just ridiculous, and I see that as what Isaiah Simmons' potential is. Right, somebody plays in the box. I don't think he'll go at safety like Derwin does. But at a linebacker, he can play down in the box, can kind of cover guys in space.
Oh, man, and right now crazy. He can cover guys. He can rush. He can rush off the edge. He's what you want in today's game.
And that's the thing, right? You got to have guys that can cover linebackers that can cover like linebackers that can cover tight ends, that can cover running backs, that can cover guys, coming across the middle, like picking up a receiver that's cutting across or whatever, right? Like this is what you need in this, day and age. And exactly. The guy's just so explosive. He's not just like, oh, well, he's a freak athlete. He puts up these amazing combine numbers. But you look at his numbers on the tape and, okay, you don't really see it on tape. No, this guy, you see it
not
on
everywhere.
tape. No, but this guy, you do see it on tape. You do see it in the weight room. You do see it at the combine. You see it everywhere, right? This guy is going to be, I think you look back, if he slides down, I don't see him getting out of the top 10. But,
I can't see it either.
But really he could be, we could look back and say, this guy's one of the top 2 or 3 picks out of this draft at the end of the day, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants just pull one and grab him at 4. I know they need offensive help, like offensive tackle help and all that, but you never know with the Giants. You never know.
No, you
just
don't.
Saying
right?
He's that good of a talent.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, he could go anywhere. I know people have linked him to the Chargers and putting him with Derwin James to let them kind of roam around. I'm okay with that too.
How cool would that be?
Just 2 guys just flying around, just killing guys. Just add that to Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, all these other guys. So it's one of those
popcorn
things,
ready, baby.
Get your popcorn ready. And it wouldn't surprise me, right? Like, it's one of those things if he does drop to 6, the Chargers, it goes into, I guess we can kind of transition, but what I want to kind of see, but I don't mind seeing a quarterback, I guess, sort of. My issue with drafting a quarterback this year is that you draft a quarterback this year and it could, is the team ready for it? Yeah.
I'm just saying, if he's not ready to play, it wouldn't hurt him to sit a year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and you get,
or at least play him towards the end of the year if you're not in it.
But that's a hard thing, right? In this day and age, nobody wants to wait for any of these quarterbacks. They want them playing in the first 3 weeks, right?
Coaches are afraid to get fired.
Coaches, GMs, everything, right? So, you get Tyrod Taylor in there. If he's putting up 150 yards with a, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, for the first game, and comes out with almost the same for the second game. And
I don't know if he's the answer, but who knows? Whatever.
And Tyrod's, he's a veteran, right? So, he just wants his chance.
Definitely a veteran.
I don't blame him, but for the Chargers as a whole, I like some of what they did in the offseason. They go out, they grab, Brian Bulaga out of, he's an older tackle, don't get me wrong, out of Green Bay, but he's just a solid guy, solid veteran on that line.
He's got some salt and pepper on his game, but
oh yeah, he's old.
He's older, but it doesn't matter.
Big old boy out of Iowa. So
if he can play all 16 games or 17, whatever it is now, that'd be huge.
Yeah, right. So it's just to give us somebody, right? Like, we had Trent Scott and we had just some terrible offensive line. Like, it really makes my head hurt watching that offensive line last year. But yeah, you watch, you put him in there, you get Trey Turner, on offensive tackle like an Andrew Thomas or whoever. Like, does that make sense too? Yeah, maybe it does, right? And let Tyrod go. Tyrod made it to the playoffs with Buffalo, right? With playing, having some good offensive plays and then having, a really good defense. So if everything goes right, maybe that's the, what they go
recipe.
For. And they try to figure something out next year, right, for a quarterback. I'm not opposed to that.
There's a lot worse quarterbacks than Tyrod Taylor, I think.
Yeah, it's 100%.
And he's got a pretty good receiving core there in San Diego. They brought back Henry.
Like, it's probably the most underrated receiving core in the NFL. You get Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Decker too. Decker can catch the ball to the backfield. I really like him.
It's Austin Eckler.
Whatever. Did I say Decker?
Eric Decker of the Jets.
Should be Decker, damn it. Should be. Oh my God, the Jets. Don't even mention the Jets.
Former Jet / Bronco player, Eric Decker.
Jets suck.
The Jets do suck. You don't have to worry about being the worst team in the AFC.
Oh my God, New England's just got Brian Hoyer just slinging it out there, throwing INTs like no tomorrow.
Brian Hoyer.
There you go.
But yeah, so we're gonna talk about, like I said, we'll continue talking about our own teams here a little bit. So yeah, the Chargers. I'm excited. I've stopped crying from losing Philip Rivers. The tears have stopped. I'm all drained. I don't have any more tears left.
I don't know why you were crying, because he never won you a championship, bro.
I don't
you guys
care.
would have kept Breeze one more year. Guarantee you guys would have won a Super Bowl.
I don't even know that, because it's just a different thing, right? You have Drew Brees, who has a shoulder that was so bad.
Whatever you got to tell yourself, bro.
Hey, I'm just telling you, the Miami Dolphins didn't take him either, because he was supposed to sign there, and they said, look, your medical came back too bad.
Guess who they took? Do you remember who they signed?
Was it Chad Pennington? Because it should have been.
No, it was Culpepper.
Oh my God.
Exactly. That was your reaction. That's sick. They could have had Drew Brees, who's had a sick career and got the Saints at least one Super Bowl. Can you imagine?
The nice thing about Drew Brees, and it's been this knock on him for most of his career, is can he win the game outside, right? Because he plays in a dome, and which makes a huge difference. But it's true, right?
Garbage.
But you look at his numbers in the dome, you look at the numbers in
like they
outside.
lost this year in the plallayoffs. They legit lost. Okay, yeah. But the year before, they should have been moving on. So
100%, right? They should have won. You know, the last.
Who's that? That was against the Vikings. Stephon Diggs.
No, that was last year. Not last year. The year before was against the Rams. Was that bogus missed call? And the year
it was
before,
Rams. You're right. Yeah,
and the year before that was Stephon Diggs. So there was 2 years back to back that they just got a punch in the mouth.
Unreal, exactly.
But like I said, don't matter. Like I said, Philip Rivers, just class act guy. I'll go to bat for that guy. He's my quarterback. You know, he did a lot of great things.
No. He was your quarterback.
Was my quarterback. No, he's still my quarterback in my heart. But he's, like I said, just to watch that. They said they got so many good guys. You look on the defensive side, you get Joey Bosa. Like I said, you get Jerry Tillery, who I'm not a huge fan of, but he's a pass rushing defensive tackle. So maybe he develops, a little bit more at Notre Dame last year. You get Melvin Ingram. You go onto the, linebacker side, you get Drew Tranquil. You got we signed another guy.
You guys are pretty good on all three levels of the defense.
And then this year we bring in, we got Casey Hayward already at corner. Derwin
you got one
James,
of the best D lines for sure.
Desmond King. You get Chris Harris Jr. They have Adderley, who they took in the second round last year, who they're hoping that he kind of turns into that, other safety for Derwin. But it's just, like I said, the defense is, if everybody stays healthy, which they obviously ran into some issues with that last year, I think they're good. And then offense, like I said, you got the receivers, you got the tight end, you got a decent running back, build that lineup, make it so you can build it up, be good. And, then next year, look at, if it was me, that's what I would do. I don't think that's what they'll do. I think they will take a quarterback.
The Chargers are going to take a quarterback. I agree. In the first round, we're talking? I think so, too.
First or second. I
think for sure they take one in the first round.
I've heard they don't like Herbert at all. Some people say they really hate him as a prospect. I also wasn't super high on Justin Herbert. I think he's okay, but I just don't see the top 10. And maybe makes me eat my words, right? Like maybe they draft him and I go, wow, this is the guy I wanted all along.
I think the Chargers are gonna make Miami have to trade up to get Tua.
I think that's what they're kind of pushing. I think they're making them.
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys do it. Really, I don't know, but I'm really.
The thing is Miami has the assets to get the bigger pick, right? Like they have where they traded everybody. They could trade their pick to this year, and they got so many other picks that they've accumulated from trading guys and everything else that they might be able to, right? So.
I got one of our mutual friends who's a diehard Miami Dolphins fan. We were talking about this, and yeah, we can name drop. You can name drop him if you want.
Cody Bowman.
Yeah. So
Cody's also been name dropped on everyone, all three podcasts now. By the way, just so we.
Really?
Yeah.
But anyways, so
he's one of our loyal listeners too.
Shout out to Cody. Yeah. Anyways, so we had a conversation. And we both, he said something about he could see them trading up or whatever, but we both kind of made the argument that we hope they kind of stand pat. Unless, if they do have to jump up into it, I get it. But, I just hope they don't trade 2 first and a second. Get what I mean? I just hope they don't trade because, if you make all those draft picks.
What you do, though.
If you trade or draft 3 first-round picks, they all should be, we'll say, even at worst, blue-collar players. So starters. And that's pretty damn good in the NFL.
But if that's your guy, right? That's the thing. If you really think you need a quarterback. But if your guy can't stand up there in a pocket, then what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? That's the thing, right? And I do, lots of things have to happen between now and then, right? Like I said, we're 20 some days away from the draft, but it's one of those things. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami moves up, but I said for the Chargers, if it was me, I would just take an offensive lineman or whatever. Offensive lineman particularly is what I kind of want because protect my goddamn quarterback so they don't have to die. I said just take a solid guy you can eventually put at left tackle for the next 10 years. Throw him in there, call it a day, and next year worry about the quarterback. Even this year, you never know. Like there's gonna be guys, Jake
Later
Fromm, Jared Eason. There's guys out there.
Fromm doesn't have the crazy arm strength though.
No, but maybe you don't need it,
He's
right?
still very manageable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
Well,
it's
you guys, we're still talking about the Chargers, so you guys are a perfect example of guys, receivers that throw it up, make a play. Like you guys all have all the receivers the Chargers have size, do they not? They have Mike Williams. This is Mike Williams, eh? Oh, yeah.
Mike Williams is big.
What a beauty from Clemson.
I think he's only 6'3", but he has that leaping ability he can just go up and get it.
And he's lengthy too, as hell.
And Keenan's still the same. I think he's 6'2", 6'3".
He's a possession guy now.
Yeah, he's a route runner. He's probably the best.
He's still a beauty.
He's probably the best route runner in the league, right? So
he's one of my faves. Keenan Allen.
Listen, I got it.
Got the beard, man. He's got the style going. Nothing wrong with a beard.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Patriots? We'll finish this off with what do you think about the Patriots?
Well, let's start on the defensive side of the ball here. We lost linebackers, and we lost Danny Shelton. New England last year played a 3-4 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost Danny Shelton, who plugged up the middle. He's a bigger boy. He was one of a classic. He's a classic example of Cleveland.
Yeah, but I don't think he's worth the money that
No, for sure.
Right?
I'm just saying we let him go, but I'm just saying this is an example of how bad Cleveland's been. We let him go. They say he can't play after a couple of years. We trade for him, and he does nothing but plug up the middle and just play solid for us. And he's a first round pick.
Because everybody wants any of these first round talents. They want them to be, especially defensive tackle. They're like, well, we want him to be the next Aaron Donald. And it's like, that's great.
Good luck.
A lot of people would want to be Aaron Donald. I want to be Aaron Donald.
A lot of people want to be Warren Sharp. I want to be Warren Sapp. Sorry.
I got some good size.
Sapp was a beauty, man.
I get some good size. I could be, the next Aaron Donald. Wait, no, actually I can't because I'm just not that good. The guy's a freak athlete. He's one in a million. And he's just that good, right? So it's one of those things. It's like, a lot of guys put that on him. Danny Shelton came in as a run stuffer. That's what he was made to be.
Exactly. Got a couple sacks for us. That a boy, Danny. Shout out to Danny. He got paid by Detroit. But anyways, so I'm thinking this year we lose, like I said, we lose Van Noy, we lose Robertson, Jamie Collins. So what I'm thinking is New England will go back to a 4-3.
Yep.
We only lost one DB, and we traded Harmon away to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we brought in one of your fellow safeties. Trying to think of his name. Is Philip?
Adrian Phillips.
Yeah, which I actually like his game. He plays
in the box too. We had him play safety.
Plays special teams too, right?
Yeah, we had him play. We had him playing in the box a lot too, in a smaller set type of thing. Because he's got some size to him, so kind of as that hybrid linebacker, but mostly safety.
I think he fits into what we do. We got everybody back. So we got Jason coming back, Devin McCourty coming back. CJ Jackson's back. I don't know if he's going to start. I still think that Jason probably start again, but we'll find out. And we got Jones. He's a beauty.
What about the offense?
Oh, boy. Let's talk offense, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I know we get a bad rap for our receivers, but Akil Harry, I haven't given up on. He only played – let's say 5 or 6 games last year. Well, he was hurt for most of it too. And he was inconsistent, showed some flashes of why he was the number 1 pick, had a couple awesome touchdowns, some tough catches, but he also had a case of the drops, like the 50-50 balls. He was dropping a lot.
Yeah, which is kind of what he was known for coming in. He was known as being the guy that would go get the 50-50 ball and come down with it, right?
No, but I'm just talking about if he was hitting the bread basket, if he was hitting the numbers – it was 50-50 whether he was catching it or not. He was just a little inconsistent but he was a rookie. But we got reliable receivers coming back still. We still got Edelman. The tight end position still a bit of a mess. Lacrosse, I like him. I can't remember the other guy. I can't remember the other guy's name. I really like him too, but they're not Bronk. Let's be serious about it. I'd like us to bring in some more veterans.
You sure they're not a Gronkowski? Possibly.
I wouldn't mind seeing us go there in the draft. Somebody who can catch but can also somewhat throw a block at the tight end position would be nice for New England.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of miss. I hate to say this. Call me old school, but I miss the old double tight end formation. Let's
Just
hand the
run
ball
it.
off and get in your face and play action.
I
That's
think
what's going to
I
go
think
on in
we're
New
both
England.
doing that a lot this year.
Hopefully, New England's handing the ball off. I want to see. It doesn't matter if it's. Well, I'm going to say Jared. Is it Stidham again?
Yeah,
Stidham?
Stidham. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got a year in the system. There's going to be some games you're like, oh my god, this is not good. But it can't be as bad as Sanchez. So I'm not going to say it.
Hey,
Actually, right now we're not going to say
What do you
anything.
mean? What do you
But-
mean? Sanchez went to
Oh my
2
God.
AFC championship games back to back. They beat the Patriots one year and they beat the Colts the other, like with Peyton Manning. So he beat Manning and
Thanks for refreshing my memory.
So hey, he beat us too. I can't even say anything. He beat the Chargers.
I'm well, who do you got? Like, yeah, I know you're not New England. You hate New England. This is even better that you hate New England.
I hate the goddamn
So
team.
what do you think? Do you think they start the year off with Hoyer slinging it out there?
I
or
think
do you
they start with
you
Jared Stidham. I don't think it's even a question.
Think he
I
beats
think
him out? They
yes,
talk
I just
highly of Stidham.
I don't think they
so what I've read.
care. I think Bill Belichick loves this. I think this is his like dream.
Mm.
I think his dream was to take, if he could take an undrafted, guy out of Wichita.
He was drafted though, fourth round.
But if he could take a guy out, like an undrafted guy out of Wichita State that played quarterback in high school, but that had moved to defensive end for college in Wichita State, and then turn him back into a quarterback, that would be like, Belichick would just lose his mind over that. He'd be like, "Oh my god, I can do this, and this is the craziest thing. Look how smart I am." The years that Brady was out, you guys were still putting up
11-5 with Matt Castle,
You
who
won.
never started maybe one game at USC, but I'm pretty sure he didn't start one game.
Yeah, but you had Matt Castle. Then the year that Brady was suspended because of Deflategate, you played Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy G.
And he did well. Yeah.
And Jimmy G was, got injured. Brissett comes back in. You got literally
gets it done.
Got a quarterback playing
rookie
with
quarterback.
Like they're just, it was so but they were winning the games, right? Like,
but I will say our offensive line was a little bit better, and we had a couple more receivers. But I do like our receivers. I've told you that before. I love a running back.
And your offensive line, you always had that.
Is pretty good.
Well, you always had that good coach, right? Like for your offensive line. So
he's retired again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to think of his name.
Sarkisian, maybe. Is that it? Or something like that?
He'll come to me.
Yeah. Like I said, people, Trevor's not the greatest of names. We don't.
I have to. I confess, I have to hear the name like I don't know how many times to memorize it. People, I'm sorry.
And if he hasn't said it in like a week, then he forgets it again.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Like I think you're just gonna sit back and wait to see what kind of happens. But I think both of us we're both in uncharted territories. Neither one of us.
I just think the Chargers, New England. Let's talk about it. Offensively, I think be smart with the ball, manage. Put your quarterback. It doesn't matter who's starting for what team. And manage those spots, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. Just, sling it over the middle. Just nice and easy screen plays. I think actually with both our teams too is starting the game off and just getting the quarterback a little bit in rhythm. Easy throws, right? Just stupid little shit like that is going to make a big difference in whether we pick up 2 or 3 more wins or go the other way, losses, right? No. But, there's a pretty big prize if the Chargers don't do shit this year and are up at the top or in the top 2-3 slots, man. Trevor Lawrence is coming out next year. And wouldn't he look good in Chargers uniform? I can tell you, I'd love to have him in New England. You imagine if this guy actually come out and tore it up for New England and said, Tommy who? But like Eric said, I think New England at worst next year is 800 or 500 or just slightly below. And I think there has to be a pile of injuries for them to do somewhere like that. Hard to say, but I just think we can win in our division. Our division isn't the strongest, right, Eric? It's up for grabs now.
No, exactly. Well, I think your division, I think it's Buffalo's going to run away with it. I think Buffalo's
I don't think they're going to run away. Well, I like Buffalo.
I think
I've
Buffalo
been a strong advocate,
is the better team out of all of them. I think even if you put Tua,
they got the best quarterback. That's what
they got the best quarterback. Well, not even that. It's just they have the best team. I think they got the best coach other than Belichick.
New England's still holding the number 1 defense, boy.
Yeah, but
most of them, some of them.
but
Majority of them are back.
But they're right there, right? They were there all year to be just as good. So it's one of the things I think.
Let's be truthfully, like Buffalo almost beat New England both times last year. One game was kind of a fluke. We lucked into the win, and
I think Buffalo walks away with it. I think past that, I think it's probably Miami, probably the Jets actually, and then Miami, and then
Jets. What have the Jets done?
No, to be honest, I think it's Buffalo. I think it's
let's
you
guys.
Speak
about the Jets for a minute here. I want to give a shout out to you know what I did like in free agency signings the last couple of weeks here is Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
He signed with the Panthers, and this is what I didn't know. He's an alum with along with Teddy Bridgewater, so I thought that was pretty neat. They're reunited. And I think, you know, for 2 years I think it's like he got like $20 million, so maybe it's 10 and 10 or something like that. Yeah. But anyways, deep threat helps out Teddy. I think they're going to rebuild there a little bit down there. What do you think?
I think they're.
You like the signing?
I like Robbie Anderson. I think you put him in a good area, and I think he's a lot better. I think he has his own issues, but.
Eric, I got some breaking news. So New England just released Cody Kessler. Is it Kessler? Yes. Their third quarterback. So maybe
he's terrible.
Well, he's terrible, but maybe that opens the door for New England drafting a quarterback.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It just
hopefully not in the first round because Trevor doesn't like that idea at all.
No, I think you'd be reaching for any of the guys that you get at the end of the
first. Take a good player, a guy that's going to make a difference. You know, that's –
Yep.
Unless you got – you know what? I'll come out and say, if Justin Herbert falls to New England –
He's not falling that far.
No, I'm just saying if he did, take the quarterback. But other than that, you know, Love – I do like Love. Like, you know, one thing I thought about is you look at his numbers, and he threw a lot of picks. This year, 17, and the year before he only threw, I believe, 6. Don't quote me on that, but it wasn't double digits. But I also didn't realize this: they had a regime change, like they fired coaches and stuff, and you know that's huge for a player. So,
yeah,
you know, maybe who knows how much talent they lost from the previous year too, wide receivers. So that's a little bit of an adjustment. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got talents. I think he'd be a hell of a quarterback in the NFL. But prime candidate to sit for a year, don't you think? Because I don't like exactly like Holmes.
No,
I just don't think he's got it all. You know what I mean?
There's lots of guys like that, right? A lot of guys need to be.
Hey, you're a Phillip Rivers fan. You guys did that with Phillip Rivers. How'd that work out?
Aaron Rodgers,
pretty goddamn good.
Pat Mahomes, you know, lots of guys, right? Like it's just the way it is.
Carson Palmer sit for a year too once he was taken first overall.
Can't remember.
Because they had Kitna. Is it Kitna?
Oh, John Kitna.
Oh my God! I can't believe I held that in the memory bank.
Oh God!
That's a beauty right there.
Yeah, this one's running a little longer than I expected.
That's all right.
That'll happen, right? You get talking, you get chatting.
That's right. And we apologize for last week. Me and Eric were just both busy, but we're gonna try to nail one out.
We were trying to also figure out how we were gonna do this because we weren't sure. Zoom.
We'll try to nail another one out this week. I don't think we'll release it this week. That's all there.
Yeah, we probably will. We'll do something for the end of the week.
We'll try to make up for it.
Yeah.
I know when we ramble on a little bit longer like we did here, but I think this is a good one. I struggle a little bit early on. The kickstart kicked in, and I was like, giddy up.
I always think I'm like, we'll just add this, and we'll add the Taylor Hall talk, and we'll
better this way now.
We'll add all this other little stuff.
When we go off script a little bit, I do like it, you know.
But we do end up like. Anyways,
it's all right though.
We throw a little bit too much into some of these, I think, which is it is what it is. Right?
Get the content out there, get the opinions out there. Let people fucking disagree and think we're dumb. I love it.
Exactly. Clip. Do all the clips. So, like I said, if anybody hasn't yet, you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. It's From the Bench Podcast. Nice little logo we got on Facebook. The cover photo is me and Trevor from our last episode. We recorded some of it. So yeah, come check us out. Come say hi. Let us know what you think. We're always up for feedback.
Good or bad.
If you think that the beards are getting a little too much, don't tell you.
Mine's scruffy and I love every minute of it.
Oh my God. A little bit of salt and pepper in there.
Man, you see all the grays on mine? Oh my God. Oh
yeah.
well.
How could I miss them?
My beard used to be like Eric's.
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. I got some grays. Got some grays, but
I
it's
got
not
enough
too
for
bad.
both of us.
It's yeah. I'm not not going there. Anyways, so for Eric and for
T Wardster, keep your
T
stick on
Wardster.
the ice.
Anyways,
Keep your stick on the ice, people.
have a good one, everybody. We'll be talking to you.
Peace out.